The caning of Charles Sumner, basically it was in the heat of like the pre-Civil War discourse between the North South, pro-slave, anti-slave, like kind of debacle. And there's I can't remember his name, the guy who actually did the caning, but he basically there was this guy Charles Sumner who was talking mad shit, and basically he like it was the typical like he was talking shit about this guy was talking shit about him. Blah, blah. I think it was Stevens or something like that. But either way, Charles Sumner, and this is on the floor of Congress, Charles Sumner ends up talking shit and like disparaging the guy's brother and making fun of his speech impediment. It's like he was making fun of his brother's disability. And that was where the honor code took over and went over the line. And this dude goes to the floor of Congress after the session is done with a cane, beats the shit out of him to the degree he is bloody and hiding under his desk, and beats him so hard that he snaps his cane in half and then starts beating him with the top end of the cane. Meanwhile, his homie, his ride or die, another congressman, is there with a pistol on the floor of Congress saying, "Let it happen. Boys will be boys." Like that sort of shit. Let this fucking happen. And so it happens, and like this does not help the pre-Civil War tensions by any means. But yeah, the guy gets beaten within a inch of his life, and still to this day in Charleston, I believe they have that cane on display.
Holy shit!
But like nobody talks about this, but politics used to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever says violence isn't the answer has never opened any history book ever.
It's almost always the answer.
Pretty much.
Solves lots of problems.
Saying.
Holy shit.
Yeah, if you open a history book, it's not the answer, it's the question. The answer is yes.
Just imagine that day at the office, like, man, you got home, you're like, dude, I watched a man get caned almost to death. What? Why didn't anyone stop it? Hear me out.
Dude, if that was happening today, you could sell subscriptions to C-SPAN.
Oh, dude, that live stream would go hard as shit. I watched those live streams.
Dana White buys C-SPAN.
Dude, I would do subscriptions, not get ads.
The political climate would get way different. Like, God, there's a lot of UFC fighters and former boxers getting elected to Congress right now.
I wanted to ask about the Spy Museum. You guys did that. Yeah. We didn't get to check it out. How was that?
It's cool. They had a bunch of cool shit in there.
What was like?
Oh. I'm sorry. I just looked up the Wikipedia because I'm looking for the guy's name. But I look up the Wikipedia for Charles Sumner. The #1 topic under it is caning. It's like early life, blah, blah, blah. Caning.
Remember that time you got your ass whooped?
Yeah, it was, Representative Preston Brooks. Yeah. But anyway, I'm
sorry. That's so much worse.
Spy Museum.
Getting your ass beat sucks. Getting your ass beat by a guy named Preston is...
It's embarrassing.
Creating a phrase, caning, most embarrassing.
They had to build a word based on what happened to you.
That's embarrassing. Your face pops up with it. Like, oh.
Even if your constituents believe in everything that you stood for.
Damn.
He said he was going to fight for us. He can't fight.
Did that guy get his ass beat? He's like, why didn't you even do anything? They had my back.
I haven't even considered the fact he got his ass whooped by a guy that had a cane.
Oh my God.
Presumably he needed it. I mean, I don't think it would be a pimp cane. Like
he's balancing shit.
Okay, you say that. I went to the Mob Museum when we were in Vegas, and in the bottom they've got this like Prohibition era like speakeasy, and of course I go to the museum because I'm a history buff, whatever. But
you heard they had booze there. Don't lie to me.
There's booze everywhere in Vegas. The taco
history buff, alcoholic.
The Taco Bell has booze. This is no excuse. Anyway, they have it's
Brandon,
a real thing.
This is a museum.
But on the wall they have like a Prohibition era cane that the top pops off. And it's a, I don't know what you call that, like a beaker.
Ice pick. Yeah.
It's a beaker that's filled with booze and a little shot glass that's like holds like 4 shots.
That's awesome.
The dudes were just rolling around with like an incognito flask. But
now
anyway.
the Spy Museum had like my favorite spy weapon of all time. Well, not my favorite, but like one of the cooler ways to kill somebody. I think it was the Russians that did it. They had it was an umbrella. It was either an umbrella or a cane. I think it was an umbrella. And like the umbrella had like a button on top, and then the tip of the umbrella was like a metal pointy one. And they would just roll up and like poke you with the umbrella in your thigh and have like a little CO2 cartridge in there and just injected a poison pellet into your thigh, and then you die of a heart attack 2 days later.
Yeah, I remember that story.
Crazy shit.
There was the more popular story. The guy they do it to the guy at the bus stop in the morning. He goes to work and he's like, man, I'm not feeling well. Goes home, dies.
Yep. Yeah, they had all kinds of cool shit. They had one of the inflatable tanks from the Ghost Army.
Oh, that's
from
cool.
Patton's Ghost Army.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, they had one of those there.
Yeah,
Was it inflated?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was set up. It was all blown up and everything. It was cool as shit.
Just in case people do not know why they had inflatable tanks, it was literally for looks because
Yeah. No, they so like right where the English Channel is, kind of like think of the movie like Dunkirk. Like it's just the shortest distance to gap between the UK and like, occupied France. Patton had just gotten in trouble for like bitch slapping a guy with PTSD, so he was in like political heat. But the chorus,
I didn't even know about that.
Patton got in a
It's in the
shit ton of
movie.
trouble because like he got in a shit ton of trouble, got like relieved of command temporarily because he was like in a medic station and there was a dude with shell shock and he like bitch slaps him and threatens to kill him because he thinks he's like kidding. And he like got in a ton of heat for it. So he got yanked for a while during World War II. And it was during that period, the Germans like weren't believing it. They're like, you pulled your best fighting general because he bitch slapped a soldier? Get the out of here. We don't believe a word you're saying. So they decided to take advantage of it. And they basically created this gigantic psyop. They had like 10,000 inflatable tanks, inflatable trucks. They had gigantic loudspeakers to project the sound of like heavy moving equipment and all this shit. And they had like prop people, and they made it look like from an aerial reconnaissance view of photos in World War II, it looked real. So they just made it look like they were amassing this giant invasion force across the English Channel. So that's like part of the setup that like softened everything up for D-Day, because the Germans were like moving a bunch of their shit up there where they thought the main invasion force was coming, and they're thinking like, oh, this is Patton's army. This is why they took Patton out of the field, was to, like spearhead this mainland invasion. And that was all bullshit. And they just created this entire thing, and then they invaded where we invaded at D-Day over at Normandy, soften up the lines right out of the gate.
I never knew that part that Patton got pulled off because he slapped, which at that time, PTSD wasn't a thing until what, 70s?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it wasn't a known thing.
yeah, it wasn't
known thing. Sorry, it wasn't a known thing until
In
the
1970s, some asshole invented PTSD.
70s. Dude, those old shell shock videos?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't know what they called it, shell shock.
Well, that's the thing. Like, because I was thinking about that a lot. Because, like, I don't think I've never heard or like seen any GWAT veterans with like obviously PTSD, but like the degree of shell shock you see in those old World War II videos where they're just like completely mentally broken, like crazy broken. I'm sure it happens, but
I always thought that's the difference, because at this time you are volunteering to serve, so you already have that kind of mindset. It's like, oh, I want to do this. Okay, this sounds cool. Back in World War I, it is, oh, hey, don't give a about your beliefs.
Get in the Model T,
yeah, and then you're thrown in that, and then you have a softer human.
So like,
I also think you have an issue of scale too, where like if you look at the amount of people in GWAT, like I think total GWAT deaths,
7,000.
Yeah, it's like 7,000 ish, 7,000 and change. But like World War I, you're looking at millions.
So
like I don't know. They're looking at the worst examples to film. And
yes, but here's my theory. My theory is because of TV. Like, imagine being a kid in World War II. You grew up on a farm in Nebraska. You know one that's got a car your whole life.
Oh, fuck.
Fast forward, the first time you see a plane, you're jumping out of it. You know what I mean? And it's like, and so like, they had no idea what they were even getting into, just getting thrown into it. Like, imagine participating in D-Day and you've never seen Saving Private Ryan. What the?
You've never seen you've never seen a black man.
You've never seen combat. You've never seen any of this shit on TV. Like, you don't even know what you think you should expect from a Hollywood perspective. And then like
you don't even know what movies are. A majority of the time, you've never even seen a black and white movie.
Yeah.
Especially, well, I mean, you're talking about World War I was where it was so pronounced that the shell shock of that, like you had no frame of reference.
Even World War II movies weren't.
Well, they were way more common.
But still.
I mean, you had like Wizard of Oz was already out.
But then, like, I also think that's why, like, the older generation of veterans, like, they've gotten progressively more vocal about their experiences as time has gone on. But like, imagine being a veteran from World War II coming home. What was your war experience like? And then trying to articulate what the D-Day was like to somebody that's never seen a movie like Saving Private Ryan, or there was 3,000 planes and we were all jumping out of them with bullets and explosions going off near us. And you're explaining this to some farmer in Nebraska that's never seen a gun bigger than a 12 gauge. It's like, damn, how the do you articulate and relate that to somebody? You know what? I'm just not talking about this, actually.
So Nick says modern veterans are privileged.
Well, obviously, in a sense, like,
Privilege.
there's some degree of like normal people understand more than they did at that point in time, certainly.
And they're still assholes about it.
Well, it's like it's
Frogan has entered the chat.